In place of a sermon today, we present to you a Reader's Theater sketch that we wrote and will now be performing. We hope that it will creatively express our reflections on the meaning of Pentecost Sunday and the story from Acts 2. Please enjoy.
It's Saturday afternoon. A group of 14 friends are at the park hanging out and eating lunch.
Whoa, Phoenix, you just inhaled that sandwich. I've only taken like 3 bites of mine.
Yeah, but Kyle, you've been talking this whole time. You're not exactly the quiet one in our group.
You're right. I keep forgetting to eat when I'm talking. I need to work on doing a better job of talking and eating at the same time.
Please don't. Just don't. People talking with their mouth full is my biggest pet peeve. It's so gross.
Here's a fun fact. Did you know that eating with your mouth open ranks number 1 on the list of annoying sounds? I read it in this article from Time Out last night. They studied 200 people, making them listen to all sorts of irritating noises and monitoring their blood pressure and heart rate. Number 10 on the list of annoying sounds, babies crying. Then going up the list, it was burping, people kissing, blowing raspberries, nose blowing, dogs barking, clearing your throat, cracking your knuckles, forks scraping on plates, and the number 1 most irritating sound, loud eating.
Sounds like a real breakthrough study. Imagine all of the awards it will get.
Hold on, you had that entire list memorized, John?
I'm good with facts and trivia. I'm like a waffle. As soon as you pour on the syrup, I just soak it up. Trivia just seems to stick in my brain. See what I did there?
Oh, we saw it all right.
That sounds like a joke you'd hear from a pastor or something. But lucky for you, I'm here for the puns. The punnier, the better, I say.
Hey, speaking of waffles and pastors and stuff, I learned some really interesting things at breakfast. My mom called me and my sister down for waffles this morning, and we were eating. She mentioned that we were going to celebrate Pentecost this weekend. I'm kind of excited to see what it's all about.
What's Pentecost? I've never heard of that.
I remember hearing the story once when I was younger. Isn't that something related to wind and tongues of fire or something like that?
Wait, what? People are lighting their tongues on fire at your church? What kind of church thing is this? I'm not sure if I'm more terrified or intrigued.
Ooh, that reminds me of that one time when I was camping and used a lighter fluid to get the campfire going and accidentally got some of the lighter fluid on my shirt. And then when we were making s'mores, the marshmallow on my stick caught on fire, which somehow caught my shirt on fire. Someone yelled, "Stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll." But I panicked and just stood there in shock. So a few seconds later, my dad dumped the ice cooler on me, and I was just standing there, drenched in the icy water, and my dad asked me, "Why didn't you stop, drop, and roll? You just stood there, frozen, like an ice sculpture. What happened? Did you get cold feet?" My dad said there's never a bad time for a pun.
Anyways, I want to go back to what people were saying about lighting their tongues on fire. Seriously though, what was that all about?
Well, it wasn't quite them lighting their tongues on fire. I think it was kind of like candle flames hovering above their heads. And if I remember correctly, the phrasing was tongues as of fire. So maybe not literal fire. In other words, something mysterious was happening, and the only way to describe what they were seeing was to compare it to tongues of fire.
Just to clarify, Pentecost is not about people turning into human torches, correct? Because that is not something I'd like to see reenacted if I ever come to church with you.
Nope, no people setting their tongues on fire at my church. I'm pretty sure the office manager would shut that down immediately.
So in this Pentecost story, if it wasn't them doing it to themselves, where did the wind and fire come from? Who did that?
Marissa, I think it symbolizes God's presence with them. It was the Holy Spirit. My parents said that since the tongues of fire were resting on each person, it meant that God wasn't leaving anyone behind. Jesus may have ascended to heaven, but it didn't mean they were alone. They were seeing God making a dramatic appearance. What a way to show up to a party, am I right?
Wait, you didn't say anything about this being a party. Now you've got my attention. What kind of party are we talking? Dance party? Tea party? Slumber party? Pizza party? Birthday party? Wait, hold on. You think there was cake at the party?
I'm not sure they would have had cake back then. Well, not like the kind we have today. There probably wouldn't have been any icing or chocolate. Their cakes would have had raisins or dates in it. At least that's what I saw on the History Channel.
Delicious.
Actually, funny that you should mention cake because my parents were saying that we should bake a cake this week. They were saying something about Pentecost being about the birthday of the church.
So it was a birthday party.
In a way, I suppose. If I understand you, Phoenix, it's about the church at its beginning. It's like the start of something new, the birth of the church.
Okay, I'm starting to get this story. This is about the Holy Spirit coming to live with them and coaching them. Kind of like a candle to guide the way. That's kind of cool. Sometimes I feel like I could use a little direction like that.
Yeah, me too.
So, a birthday party, but no cake?
There's nothing in the story about them eating cake, but you can come over to my house this week and we have cake with my family if you want. Who knows, maybe we'll even get an ice cream cake for you, Kyle.
Just say the word. I'll be there. Lickety-split.
Ugh.
If I remember correctly, something happened after the tongues of fire. I'm getting fuzzy on the details, but didn't it involve different languages?
My parents were saying that there was a festival going on at that time, 50 days or so after Passover. One of the pilgrimage festivals, I think that's where the languages come in.
Ooh, I like festivals. That reminds me of a festival that I went to.
Hold on, you're getting off topic again. I want to hear about the festival from the story.
I believe it was called the Festival of Weeks, also known as Shavuot.
How do you even know that?
2 words, trivia champion.
Yeah, people were in Jerusalem for that festival and they came from all over, even places as far as Egypt and Libya. So lots of cultures and languages in one place for the festival.
So, kind of like the Poppy Festival that brings people all over from SoCal?
Exactly, kind of like that. But instead of poppy bloom, in this case, they were celebrating the grain harvest.
Okay, so what about the languages?
I think all the travelers who had come from different places were able to understand what the disciples were saying, even though it wasn't the disciples' native tongue.
Okay, so let me get this straight. The disciples started speaking languages that they didn't even know. And then people from out of town who were there for the festival heard them speaking those languages and were left in shock. That's what you're saying? The story is getting kind of crazy.
It's like they were all connected mysteriously.
Kind of like the internet, like a viral video that's being shared around the world and everyone's enjoying it together.
My parents were saying that if this is a birthday of the church, then it's like everyone is being invited to the party. Like instead of just a few close friends, you invite everyone in the neighborhood.
Kind of like a block party. That's my favorite type of party. Which reminds me of a block party I went to when the Dodgers were playing and my neighbors were projecting the giant game on the game on a giant screen in the street. And they had blocked off that section of the neighborhood for pedestrians only. And it was awesome.
That does sound kind of cool.
It was, Marissa. It was.
Yeah, well, I guess the first Pentecost was kind of like a block party, like a giant birthday party for the church that was being born right there. And instead of birthday candles, they had tongues of fire. And instead of one person getting all the gifts, everyone was getting a gift.
Yeah, which was the Holy Spirit.
I think I'm starting to piece things together. I think I understand the story now. But I'm wondering, what does that have to do with me? And why celebrate Pentecost every year?
Maybe it's kind of like the way you celebrate your birthday every year.
I mean, this was a major part of the church's history. It's the origin point in a way. So, for an event that important, you're going to want to celebrate it every year.
That makes sense.
Hey, I just thought of an idea. Do you three want to come with me to church tomorrow? I bet my pastor can answer all of these questions anyway.
Will they have cake?
For Pentecost.
Well, it is the church's birthday, right?
Let's go together to find out.
Promise me this, Kyle. If they do have cake, no eating and talking at the same time, all right?
Deal.